If you haven't already watched episode 1, I definitely recommend giving that a look before watching this video, as this is episode 2, where I'll be talking about the refined sketch. So this is the sketch, and now we're going to go into the refined sketch where I actually put in details. Not quite line art, but the step after the refined sketch is going to be the line art. Something that is very helpful when drawing the refined sketch is to make a new layer. So I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to make this layer blue, and that's going to indicate a refined sketch. And I'm going to lower the opacity of our sketch. And I'm also going to make the sketch blue. What I mean by that is I'm going to lock the layer. So that's this button right here. So now when I draw on this layer, it will not draw off of the pixels that have already been drawn on. So this is super helpful because now I'm going to fill the layer. My hotkey for filling the layer is Shift Delete, and that will make everything blue. If you want to manually do that, I believe you go to Edit Fill. So for example, if I want her green, Edit and then Fill. And you can see right here, it actually tells me what the short key is, which is very helpful. So this means Shift Delete. And that's going to fill the whole layer, but it's only going to fill the pixels that we've drawn since we have this lock layer on. And I'm going to lower the opacity of that again. And now we're going to go into our refined sketch. So the first thing I do is I always start at the face. So I'm going to start off with Yoki's nose because she has an adorable little nose. I like to think of the nose as very 3D because what I like to achieve with my style is a 3D-ish look. It's a mix between cartoon and realistic. So I'm just going to say, imagine like this is the nose, right? And then because I want it to be 3D, there's going to be this part right here. So that's how I always draw noses, is with this part right here. And then the top part, so it looks very 3D. So when I draw her nose, I'm going to make it round because she has a round, like curved nose. And then I like to draw inside this little indicator that her nose is indeed 3D. So you can see I'm kind of drawing the 3D shape already, and then I'm going to add in that little line after. So I'm not going like this and then adding that. I'm going like that and then adding that. So we have kind of 2 points here. Because I believe it's easier to just draw like this shape and then draw the line inside. Rather than draw the front of the nose and then draw the top of the nose, I feel like sometimes that can make my drawing look a little bit too sharp and not coherent. So that's why I like to draw the entire shape first and then add the detail inside. So there's her nose. That's my little tip on drawing noses. Since this is a chibi, this is a more cutesy chibi look and not a very realistic look. She doesn't have the nostrils, but when I do my more realistic art, I do have nostrils, and what I do is I erase these little bits and add those nostrils in, and then it'll make her look more realistic. And I also add this little shadow right here for my realistic noses. So it's not too different. Here's her nose. For the rest of her muzzle, I do a little line here, and then I do this and this. This is our classic little dog face shape. And then I like to go 1, 2, and that kind of completes like this little wee. So, and I'm going to do that on the other side. I'm going to go 1, 2. Nice. And then I like to give her little freckles, or I think these are like whisker indicators because these little dots are where dogs would have their whiskers, but I don't draw her with whiskers because I feel like that would make her look less dog-like, but drawing the whisker indicators makes her look more dog-like. I don't know why, that's just how it is. And then I'm going to draw a little edge of the mouth right here and over here. And it's nice to draw both sides at the same time. Rather than drawing this side and then drawing this side, I like to kind of draw them together. So when I do this, I also do this. When I do this curve right here, I also do the curve on the other side. It just makes the drawing more coherent. And Oh yeah, something else that I've been doing is flipping the canvas. This is so important, at least for me, because it helps me keep my shapes looking right. If you flip the canvas, it gives you a new perspective on your drawing, and you can kind of see maybe what is looking off more clearly because you're looking at it in a different way, and so the parts that are looking off will stand out more to you. So I'm noticing this is looking a little off, so I'm going to transform it, and I have another modifier key where if I hold down Command, I can adjust more freely the transformation. So if I'm not holding Command, that doesn't happen. I can only move it this way and this way. But if I hold Command, this is what's called free transform. So I can go into the free transform mode. So you can see over here we have mode, and right now it's just on scale rotate. But when I hold my modifier key, it will put it into free transform mode, which is where you can do all this like fun stuff, which is like free transforming. It's exactly what the name implies. So I'm going to cancel that, and I'm going to go Control T, and I'm going to hold down my modifier key so that I'm in free transform mode. And I'm just going to pull out this mouth right here because I feel like, see, it just little changes that make a big difference. And my key for flipping the canvas is the brackets, but if you want to manually do it, it's right over here. It's this button right there. So now I'm gonna go in here. Let's see, we have her mouth. She's gonna have an open mouth, so I'm going to go do a little open mouth. And I love to give her a little tooth right here because I feel like, I don't know, it's cute. And then another tip of mine is I feel like I always do my teeth like this, is I do one canine, and then I do a smaller tooth, and this is where I draw the tongue right here. So I'll do tongue like that, and then I'll finish off the teeth right here. That's how I love doing teeth that way. I feel like it makes the drawing look 3D since the tongue is kind of popping out right here. And yeah. Okay, next I'm going to draw her eyes. So the way I draw eyes is I start with the top, and I'm going to put it in this general area because, as you can see, I'm kind of following my sketch. My mouth is where the circle is, and now I'm going to draw the eyes where the circles are. So I like to do like a big arc right here. And then for the bottom of the eye, I like to do it in two parts. I like to go 1 and then 2. And I feel like that makes her eye look it makes it look like she has like her cheeks are affecting her eyes, because when you smile and move your face around, your cheeks really affect your eyes. So I think these two areas help define her cheeks as well. And then I'm going to do the other eye, and it's going to be skinnier. So we're going to do this arc, and then we're going to do, let's see, I'm going to move this over a bit, and maybe this one too. No, I like the positioning of this eye, but not this one. Okay, I think that's better. And I'm going to give her a little blush. Next, I'm going to give her little eyelashes. And the pupils, I'm going to have her looking this way. So I'm going to give... Alright, there we go. For those who don't know about the Command Z button, the hotkeys I use to undo something. So if I want to undo a line, I do Command Z. If I want to redo the line, I do Command Shift Z. And that is just the undo and redo button. And they're very useful for when you make mistakes, because you don't have to resort to the eraser. Instead, you can just get rid of the line that you just did. So I find it's a very useful tool. And I still don't like how this eye is looking, so I'm just gonna have her eye closed. This is how I avoid my problems. And then we'll give her the little blush. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I'm going to adjust this eye a little bit, and I'm actually going to really quick make a new layer so that I'm not affecting the refined sketch, and I'm going to sketch out her cheek because I just need a little bit more help on that before I put in the refined sketch. And I'm gonna draw her little jaw right here. And for this side of her jaw, I do like kind of two sharp edges like that. I think it's very helpful. And then the cheek over here is pretty round. And I also just like to draw the rest of the head. This is like the cranium right here, so I just like to give myself a more refined idea on what I'm going to be doing on my refined sketch. So, oh my gosh, I'm just going to add something real quick. I forgot her little egg on her sketch. So there we go. Okay. And then I'm going to lower the opacity of this little extra tidbit that I'm having help me. And I'm just going to leave it black because I think that's okay. And now I'm going to draw her ears. Yoki's ears, she has little lab ears. So lab ears are like the hardest. And I think her ears are actually a little bit too small. So I'm going to select them and I'm going to make them a little bit bigger. I'm going to get rid of these sketches. Well, actually, yeah, I'm going to make them just a tad bit bigger. Okay, something I love to do when I make a transformation is Command-Z, Command-Shift-Z, and kind of just go back and forth, looking at what I transformed and seeing if it actually looks better. And in this case, yes, it does. And then I'm going to give her little hair floof. So she has this little hair floof, and then it kind of like swoops out like that. My tip for drawing fur and hair is to give it range. So don't just go fur, 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 fur. Go like swoop. I use a lot of curved lines, so I do like a swoop here, maybe have it the other direction here, then this direction, then this, you know, give it a lot of different directions and lots of curves, I believe, is very helpful. Instead of going like this, like going like this, it just makes all the difference. So adding in those curves rather than just straight lines makes your hair look a lot fuller and more alive, I guess. And I gave her little hair. Oh, and her eyebrows. I'm going to give her eyebrows. This is like her classic look, is like the angry eyebrows with the happy smile. I'm just going to give her maybe little dots. I'm just going to give her little dots since she is more chibi here. And the reason I'm drawing her more chibi rather than in my regular style is I really want to get my general drawing tips out there, and then later I will make a video dedicated to my actual style when you all already know like my general strategy to making art, and I can give more specific tips on that more detailed style in the future. So this is kind of just to get the basics down of my drawing process. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna actually move her down because I need room for her egg. And that's gonna go right here. See, I love this, that I did this layer right here, because now I can just kind of follow the shape and give her some cheek floof. And give her a cheek floof here. And then I just follow that shape. And let's see, that cheek floof is a little out there, so I'm gonna try that again. Okay, I like that. And then I'm gonna erase this little line here so that the hair connects right there. Next up is going to be her body. So I'm going to draw her little paw. It's going to be resting on her hip. So I'm going to do a little circle here around the circle that I've already drawn. Give her little toes. And let's see. I'm going to do the arm like so. It's kind of like it starts wide, it goes thin, and then it becomes wide again at the paw. And for the shoulder, I'm going to have it start wide here and get skinnier as it approaches the elbow. That is usually how I do my arms. And then I can erase this little bit here, maybe fix this up. Let's see, I'm going to move her entire head down actually, because I feel like there's too much neck in this drawing and she needs less neck. For this refined sketch, it's kind of just going over my sketch, my blue sketch, and just drawing the details and refining it, as the name implies. And next we're going to do her digitigrade legs, so I'm going to go there and then back. And then we're going to have a little paw. And her knee's going to be right here, but it's not really going to be that visible since her leg is not pointing the direction like it is here. Okay, I like that. So it's not, the knee isn't as drastic as it is on the right leg. I kind of like the leg to be thicker up here and become thinner as it approaches the paw, and then the paw really stands out there. And finally, we're gonna draw this little arm here. And I'm gonna draw her little thumb, like that. Oh, and finally her little tail. There we go! I think we have this refined sketch done. There's one thing though, I think because I usually do this skinnier thing on my more realistic drawings, it's kind of taking away from her squishy adorableness, so I'm gonna actually fix that up really quick. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna make everything a little bit thicker. There we go. And let's see, I think her paw is insanely tiny here, so let's make this bigger. I'm gonna redo her tail as well. There we go. Alright, we finished up our refined sketch. I know this might seem like an extra step because I already did my rough sketch, but I really like to do this refined sketch as well because I think it helps me know exactly where all my details are going to go when line arting. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.